Okay, we're going to work a few examples of solving quadratic equations by factoring. Um, so we're going to do both of these examples, and let's just jump into the first one. So pretty much when we're solving these, we want to get a quadratic on one side of the equation and then the other side equal to 0. So this one is set up how we want it. Then we want to factor our quadratic. So when we're factoring, we need to find a number that's going to multiply to negative 12, and it's going to add to negative 1. And I'm going to do a video on factoring, kind of covering it in more detail, but um, if you look at this and think about it for long enough, those two numbers are going to be negative 4 and positive 3, because negative 4 times positive 3 gives us negative 12. Negative 4 plus positive 3 is negative 1. So this is going to factor down to x minus 4 multiplied by x plus 3, and all that's equal to 0. So we could FOIL this back out to check our work and verify that indeed when this guy is FOILed out, we're going to get back this quadratic up top here. And now our last step is to simply just take each one of these factors that's left over, so this factor here and this factor here, and then we're going to set them equal to 0 individually. So x minus 4 equals 0, and x plus 3 equals 0. So I just took this factor and set it equal to 0, and I took this factor and set it equal to 0. And then we're going to solve both of these separate. So over here we're going to have x equals negative 3 after we move our 3 over to the other side. And here we're going to have x equals positive 4 after we add our 4 over to the other side. And those are going to be our two solutions for that first one. So for this next example, you can see that we don't have a side that's equal to 0, so we're going to want to move our 36 over to the other side in order to get one side of the equation equal to 0. So if we add 36 to both sides, we're left with x squared plus 12x plus 36 equals 0. And now we just have to work on factoring this. So we want a number to multiply to 36 and add to 12. So I know that 6 times 6 equals 36, so I think that's going to be it in this case. So x plus 6 and x plus 6, and all that's equal to 0. When you're first doing these, it's a really good idea to go ahead and FOIL this back out and just make sure that you end up with this original quadratic right up here, just to make sure that you didn't make any mistakes when you were factoring. So now the last thing that we have to do is set each of these equal to 0 individually, and well, since both of these factors are the same, we only really need to just solve one of them, because pretty much if we did exactly what we did in the last example, we would just be solving the same simultaneous, we would just be solving the same two equations. So it looks like this one's only going to have one solution, and that's going to be x equals negative 6. And there's our solution to that one.